Someone closely following this inauguration is the author and historian Jane Hampton Cook. Jane has researched some inaugural firsts for us. And Jane, let's start tonight with Obama's inauguration and the unprecedented level of security. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's the first time in history since 9/11 that we've transitioned to a new administration. So it makes sense that the Secret Service is not letting anything go. All of the roads from Virginia, all the bridges will be closed tomorrow, which is unprecedented. So we are definitely seeing unprecedented security for President-elect Obama's inauguration tomorrow.
Jane, the inauguration, as I understand, wasn't always in January. When did that tradition start? Because I think I saw something, a documentary on Teddy Roosevelt, and I believe he took office in March. Is that correct?
That's right. Traditionally, presidents were inaugurated in March. But in 1937, that changed. When Franklin Roosevelt took that oath of office, it was the first time on January 20th. And the reason was that transportation and communication had become compressed. It didn't take as long to get to Washington, D.C. anymore. So they moved it up to make a shortened transition for the American people and the new president.
Which president, Jane, was the first to be inaugurated on the west side of the Capitol?
Ronald Reagan was the very first president to be inaugurated on the west side of the Capitol in 1981. And he did that so that he could connect better with the nation's founding. He could look at that Washington Monument. He could talk about George Washington. He talked about Abraham Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial. And a lot of presidents connect with the nation's founding and the giants in our heritage. And that's what Reagan did. And I expect that you'll see Barack Obama do that as well tomorrow.
Just where were the presidents inaugurated before that?
On the other side of the Capitol, on the east side.
And who was the first president to walk in the parade?
Well, Jimmy Carter was the first in 1977. He kept it a huge secret. Everybody knew except the Secret Service that he had planned to walk that inaugural parade route. And it made headlines around the world. He wanted to tell people, hey, I don't need a limo. I'm an everyday guy like you. So that was why Jimmy Carter was the first to walk in the inaugural parade.
I remember that. I just thought they'd always walk, but I do remember that now. Now, Jane, who was the first lady to join her husband in the parade?
Well, that happened 100 years ago. Helen Taft in 1909 joined her husband in the parade from the Capitol to the White House. And usually both presidents did that together, the incoming and the outgoing. But President Roosevelt decided he didn't want to do it, so Helen Taft stepped in and a precedent was set.
Which president and first lady attended the first inaugural ball?
That was 200 years ago with James and Dolly Madison. They attended the first inaugural ball. 400 guests attended. Tickets were $4 each. And Dolly wore pearls instead of diamonds because pearls were appropriate for a first lady. Diamonds were appropriate for the queen. And she certainly didn't want to appear to be a queen at the first inaugural ball.
Jane, give us your personal observances. You've been around these things before. What's different about this one?
Oh, I just think that there's a lot of excitement and, of course, a highly significant moment to inaugurate America's first African-American president. I think that certainly does reflect Martin Luther King and his dream. So I think that that's the most significant part of this inauguration.
Right. Some fascinating insights. Jane Hampton Cook, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.